Yeah.
Any particular advice for him?
Take it serious.
Which I'm accustomed to, and he's going to be greatly mistaken.
No, I'll fight anybody, I'll spar anybody, I'll fuck anybody up. He said some nasty things, so he's funny and all that, but there is...
Mike Tyson just warned Jake Paul not to fight Anthony Joshua. Mike Tyson is making it clear this fight is no joke. Jake Paul is facing Anthony Joshua, a man with immense power, precision, and experience. Tyson sees the danger and warns that Jake could be overpowered before he even lands a hit.
Catch up with him and overpower him. I could be wrong. Little guys are difficult to fight because they're harder to hit, because they're smaller.
Adam Catterall warns that Jake Paul is entering a fight far beyond his experience. Anthony Joshua is a two-time heavyweight champion with size, skill, and power that cannot be underestimated. I believe Jake is in serious trouble, and this fight could end badly from the first round.
For me, if he steps in with Anthony Joshua, and it's a proper fight and there's no restrictions or anything like that, he's going to get hurt. It is dangerous, it is bad for the sport, it should absolutely not happen. I know that the people will be saying, well, business, money, all these types of things. Come on, man. There's a cut-off point at some point, isn't there? If he steps in with Joshua, Joshua will hurt him badly and it will reflect badly on...
Eddie Hearn highlights the difference between showmanship and real boxing. Jake Paul may entertain the audience, but Anthony Joshua is a true heavyweight champion with skill, power, and experience. I genuinely think Jake is out of his depth, and this fight could expose his limits badly in front of the world.
I think YouTube, I don't even want to call it boxing, but misfit stuff, I think there's a place for it. I think it can be entertaining, but it's not boxing.
Yeah.
You know, boxing is very different. So I think what Jake Paul has done is, listen, at the moment, we're negotiating with Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua.
Yeah,
it's completely mental.
Carl Frog points out the obvious Jake Paul cannot box at the level of Anthony Joshua, and any fight against him is lopsided. Anthony Joshua has power, technique, and intelligence that make him almost untouchable. In my opinion, Jake is taking a huge gamble that could end in disaster before the fight even heats up.
Well, tomorrow, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but we're both retired. And we'll be looking at it saying, still an easy fight because he can't box, he's useless. So it's risk reward, minimum risk, massive reward. So of course.
Ryan Garcia explains the mismatch Jake Paul is facing. Anthony Joshua is a massive heavyweight with unmatched strength and experience. Jake might take a round or two, but this is a fight that could expose every weakness he has. I think Anthony Joshua will dominate, and Jake will struggle to survive the intensity of the bout.
For it as well.
He could win 1 or 2 rounds. To me, that's a W. You know what I mean? So this fight is probably the worst fight that Jake Paul could have taken. Out of all the fights he probably had a choice, you know, myself, who else did they say? I forgot. The other guy, you know what I mean? That's worse. This is a big dude, heavyweight. Like, how you go from 135 to 225? Like you know, it's gonna be difficult. But
why do you think he takes it, Ryan?
He's just a dick.
Benavidez Sr. makes it clear Anthony Joshua is far superior to Jake Paul in size and skill. Jake has been training hard, but he is facing a 2-time heavyweight champion. I personally feel this fight could go late, but Anthony Joshua will control the pace and power advantage throughout the fight, leaving Jake Paul with very little chance.
I think that AJ is too much for Jake Paul at this point, and he's bigger than Jake Paul, in my opinion.
Do you think it's competitive? A lot of people are saying if AJ doesn't get him out of there in 2 rounds, it'll be a huge embarrassment.
I don't think that's not the case, that he's gonna get Jake Paul. At the end of the day, Jake Paul has been training hard too, and you know, he's a pretty good fighter. I don't think he would take him out in 2-3 rounds. I think maybe in the later rounds, or it might go to decision, you know, but I don't think.
Johnny Nelson shows how dangerous this fight really is. Anthony Joshua does not play games, he knocks opponents out. Jake Paul may entertain fans, but against Joshua, his tricks and teasing mean nothing. I strongly believe Anthony Joshua will dominate every moment in the ring, leaving Jake Paul overwhelmed.
Because Jake Paul is crazy. If he thinks he can get it with Anthony Joshua, former 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, and play tiddlywinks, I don't think AJ plays touch. He plays knock the F out.
Eddie Hearn warns Jake Paul that Anthony Joshua's power is extreme and no mistakes are allowed. Anthony Joshua is a seasoned champion who can end a fight instantly. In my view, Jake Paul is underestimating the danger, and this fight could turn into a one-sided contest very quickly.
But I said to Jake Paul, you ain't in a box, mate, and this ain't David Blaine. I said, so just be careful, because AJ will take your head clean off your shoulders, and it's you know, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And you take on that responsibility, and we all have to, so we got to think about that. But this is Anthony fighting a top 50 cruiserweight in the world. It's not something that we would normally do.
Yeah.
Duke McKenzie raises a serious warning about the dangers Jake Paul faces against Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is a former two-time heavyweight champion with knockout power and world-class experience. Every indicator shows that Jake Paul stepping into this fight is a massive mismatch. The size, speed, and technical superiority of Anthony Joshua create a scenario where Jake Paul will struggle to land significant punches. This is a fight that is highly likely to be controlled by Anthony Joshua from start to finish, and could end early if Jake underestimates the challenge.
I don't know, I genuinely fear, like most people do, for Jake Paul, because if he fights Anthony Joshua, it's not going to end well.
Tommy Fury highlights the extreme gap between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's speed, strength, and ring IQ make him one of the most dangerous heavyweights in the world. Even against injuries or disadvantages, he retains the ability to control the fight. Jake Paul lacks the experience to handle a fighter of this caliber. Anthony Joshua's combination of power and technique is built to finish fights decisively and quickly. Analysts and former champions agree that Jake Paul stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua is entering a contest where survival alone will be a challenge.
But if I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the fuck is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go.
Frank Warren confirms the high stakes in this fight. Anthony Joshua is a two-time world heavyweight champion, and every skill he possesses is elite. Jake Paul is licensed and trained, but lacks the depth of experience and championship-level resilience Anthony Joshua brings. This fight will test Jake Paul physically and mentally. Anthony Joshua controls distance, timing, and power, which means Jake Paul will be forced to defend constantly. Even with confidence, stepping into the ring against a proven champion creates enormous risk. Anthony Joshua's dominance in previous heavyweight bouts makes the outcome extremely predictable and heavily in his favor.
It's a dangerous fight. Of course, it's a dangerous fight. But I'm not here to be there selling their show. I've got no interest in the fighters from that perspective. I just think that he is a licensed boxer. He's trained. He knows what he's getting involved with. He's not an idiot. And he knows what he's going to be up against, but he must believe in himself to do it.
Derek Chisora warns clearly about the physical mismatch. Anthony Joshua's punching power has ended fights quickly throughout his career, while Jake Paul has never faced a heavyweight of this caliber. Anthony Joshua's conditioning, technique, and knockout record make him almost impossible to challenge at this level. Jake Paul stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua risks severe injury and early defeat. All indicators show that Anthony Joshua will dominate from the opening bell, and Jake Paul will struggle to land meaningful shots. The fight is expected to be one-sided, with Anthony Joshua controlling every aspect.
Whatever happens will be exciting.
Does he have the power to knock out Joshua?
No, he hasn't got the power to knock out Joshua.
How does that fight end?
Jake Paul going in an ambulance, bro.
Simon Jordan confirms the enormity of the challenge for Jake Paul. Anthony Joshua is a proven two-time world heavyweight champion with strength, skill, and experience. Even factoring in a loss to Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua remains fully capable of executing his game plan. Mental toughness and physical power make him a daunting opponent. Jake Paul has never faced a boxer of this level. Anthony Joshua will control the pace, deliver accurate heavy punches, and force Jake Paul into defensive positions throughout the fight. Every fact points to Anthony Joshua dominating this contest.
Not his financial welfare, but Jake Paul going into a fight with Anthony Joshua, to me, is absurd. I mean, Anthony Joshua is a legitimate two-time heavyweight champion of the world. He may have got destroyed by Daniel Dubois, but notwithstanding, there's nothing physically wrong with Anthony Joshua that he can't execute. Mentally, he might be in a little bit of a difficult position.
Tony Bellew points out the extreme mismatch between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua has fought the best heavyweights in the world and possesses knockout power, defensive skill, and experience at the highest level. Jake Paul is significantly smaller and less experienced. Every fight, statistic, past performance, and physical measure points to Anthony Joshua dominating the contest. This fight risks serious injury for Jake Paul. Anthony Joshua controls distance, timing, and power in a way Jake cannot match. The outcome is overwhelmingly in favor of Anthony Joshua, and the mismatch is obvious to everyone watching.
It's just a gross mismatch.
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand his health is in jeopardy. So I'm not even entertaining it. I just think it's dangerous. And listen, I might have to work it, but it's just...
It's kind of ludicrous, isn't it, really?
It's insane. This boy is nuts. Is nuts. And I think he's putting his life before he's putting his life.
Tyson Fury's claim that Jake Paul could knock out Anthony Joshua is highly controversial. Anthony Joshua remains a world-class heavyweight with speed, technique, and knockout power. Jake Paul has never faced an opponent of this caliber and lacks experience against elite heavyweights. Anthony Joshua controls the ring, can adapt mid-fight, and has repeatedly proven he can finish opponents decisively. While Jake Paul has grown in size, there is no record of him overcoming the technical and physical superiority of a two-time heavyweight champion. Facts strongly favor Anthony Joshua controlling every round.
I don't know about chewing up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look.
Spencer Oliver explains how Anthony Joshua treats this fight strategically. Winning warm-up fights is part of his plan to remain sharp and manage risk. Anthony Joshua is physically dominant and highly skilled, making Jake Paul an unproven and dangerous opponent. At this stage, Joshua can control pace, use experience, and avoid unnecessary risks while still taking financial advantage. Jake Paul is untested at heavyweight level and lacks the championship experience Joshua commands. Every statistic, past result, and physical measurement suggests Anthony Joshua will dominate the fight while minimizing exposure, proving this is an unequal contest.
Well, Anthony Joshua was talking about wanting warm-up fights before going into bigger fights, but look, it's prize fighting at the end of the day, and the way that Joshua was here and Matchroom and all the team, the fans won't like this, by the way. But
I don't like it
either. I don't like it either. But the way that Joshua will see it is as a money grab. He'll see it as an easy money grab, but at this stage of his career, is it a fight he should be taking? Nah.
Dave Allen highlights the enormous pressure on Jake Paul when facing Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is a former two-time world heavyweight champion with elite power, accuracy, and fight IQ. Jake Paul has limited experience against opponents of this level and cannot match the technical ability or physical strength of Anthony Joshua. Even if Jake lasts several rounds, he will be dominated by Joshua's control of distance and power. Every past result and performance record indicates that Anthony Joshua will dictate the fight and secure a decisive victory, leaving Jake Paul struggling to prove himself.
If he does take him rounds, if he does hold him up, if he does play the game and get a few rounds in, and it's a bit of an exhibition style thing, he'll never be taken serious by most paying public ever again. So I just think it's a no-win situation for Anthony Joshua. Apart from the 50 million quid, of course, which is not too bad.
The stage is set for a monumental clash between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. Every fact points to Anthony Joshua as the superior fighter with world-class power, skill, and experience. Jake Paul may have improved, but stepping into the ring with a two-time heavyweight champion is an enormous challenge. Anthony Joshua controls distance, timing, and punch accuracy like no one else. He has fought and defeated the best heavyweights in the world and can finish fights decisively. From the opening bell, Anthony Joshua will impose his strategy and dominate the pace of the fight. Jake Paul will struggle to land meaningful shots and will be forced to defend constantly. The physical mismatch and technical gap are undeniable. Fans around the world are watching closely, and every indicator points to Anthony Joshua securing a clear victory. Are you backing Anthony Joshua, or do you believe Jake Paul can pull off the impossible? Share your thoughts in the comments below and join the debate.